Tilt is the emotional state that comes when what you're doing just doesn't work, and is the result of having nothing to show for all of your hard work. It also happens when people get the better of you, or when you're repeatedly finding yourself in situations that make you feel hopeless. Today's video is about managing tilt, and building a framework to help you deal with the everyday rubbish of Destiny 2 in an efficient way. Hi, my name is Ascendant Nomad, and I'm your Crucible Doctor. There's absolutely no shortage of things that make us angry at Destiny 2. The game isn't perfect, but we want it to be so badly because we love it, and that causes a lot of friction. Sometimes it's just simply the act of playing the game that can send us into a negative feedback spiral. Tilt is a very natural thing to fall into. Let's make that clear. This video is not going to shame you for feeling tilted. I get it. Trust me. When I'm tilted, I play worse. I play more within myself rather than the swashbuckling golden gunner that I know I can be. I let myself get worked up over yet another mountaintop recluse user, instead of thinking about where I need to be for my team. I know that it's not helpful, and so do you. Chances are you can probably relate to that. Of course, tilt comes in many different forms depending on the situation and the environment you find yourself in. I got the idea for this video last year. A person I knew wanted to manage their levels of tilt effectively in order to keep having fun and to keep themselves focused at the task at hand. That person a year ago was lost, inconsistent at best, insecure about their own abilities, talented but way too easily handled, predictable, obsessed over statistics that meant little. He couldn't move it on to the next level because he blamed everyone but himself for things that went wrong. That person was not able to let go and start becoming the best version of himself. And yet, despite everything, that person prevailed, and he became the person writing this video. Today I'm going to share with you the process I went through in order to get over my problems with tilt. Now I must make this abundantly clear. I'm not a therapist, nor will I pretend to be. I fully recognize that people are different and everyone has their own way of expressing themselves. So I don't expect this video to be a catch-all. I'm just a guy being a dude, and this is what worked for me. For my process, I adopted a multi-step approach that systematically changed the way I reacted to events around me. There are 4 main stages: awareness, identification, rationalization, and acceptance. Stage 1. Awareness. As the old adage goes, the first step in solving a problem is admitting you have one. And I want you to ask yourself, are you someone who blames the game for things that are going wrong, or do you admit and accept that it's you who has the problem? If you're the former, then I'm sorry, but you're going to have to at least entertain the idea that perhaps out of all the things that cause you to be tilted, there's only one real constant. You. You must take ownership of your own emotions. Nobody governs them but yourself. Sure, the game is the primary environment which provides the triggers, but you can't blame the game if you continue to play it. That said, if you're someone who only blames themselves, that's not any closer to the mark either. Not all that aggravates you is your cross to bear. Understand that there are things that are in your control and things that are beyond your control. Regardless of which category you fall into, make a list and start identifying what triggers you. There might not be many, there might be a whole lot. Remember, this list isn't supposed to be just things that you think the game could improve on. It's the things that personally affect you, and it doesn't have to be strictly related to Destiny. In no particular order, here's some examples of stuff that have annoyed me in the past. 3 or more teammates standing in the same position, looking down the same lane. Offensive or antagonistic gamer tags and usernames. Hate mail when I do well. That one guy that always camps heavy. Not liking certain maps. Not knowing how a guy keeps killing me over and over. Twilight Oath is a weird sniper to get used to and I kept missing my shots. Crouch spammers. Everyone's triggers are different. Make that list. Once you're done, it's time for the next step. Stage 2. Identification. This is where we figure out the stuff that's in your control and outside of your control. The things that are directly in your control are the things you can directly influence. That means you can do something different in game or in real life. There are tangible and actionable things you can do to work on how you process the outcomes of these events in the future. Then there's stuff that's just out of our control. Big picture stuff that you have no influence over. Skill-based matchmaking is probably the hot button topic at the time of writing this video. These are the things that, unless you're part of an internal team at Bungie, you can't directly change. Start sorting your list of triggers into 2 columns, internal and external. Internal being the things you can control, and external is the stuff that you can't. Here's my list of stuff that I mentioned earlier. and I can already see how most line up very easily. There may be some triggers that skirt the line and have a bit of both in them, and that's okay. Pick out the bits and pieces that you can control and focus on that. Once you've gotten that list into your 2 columns, it's time for the biggest part yet. Stage 3. Rationalisation. This is the part of the video where I'm going to get all the dislikes, so strap in, here we go. Look at your external column. Take a good, hard look and make sure these are things that, when you really think about them, are completely and utterly out of your control. Like there's nothing you can do about their existence. Take a last look, pause this video and think hard about it. Then come back. Now that you're back, here's what you're going to do. Take a deep, deep breath. Close your eyes and just let them go. If they're not in your control, is it truly worth getting upset over? Is it worth sacrificing your time, energy, and enjoyment of a play session to be tilted over something you can't do anything about? Why are you tilted by this particular trigger? Perhaps you've encountered something that you believe shouldn't be as strong as it is, like One-Eyed Mask, Aerodil, or Shotgun Aping. Well, sorry, that's just the state of the game right now. It doesn't make logical sense to get tilted by a tool people want to use to secure the win. Barring One-Eyed Mask, there are hard counters to most things in the sandbox. Are you tilted because you keep finding yourself matches with bad teammates? Well, that's a really easy fix in non-comp modes. Leave. Find new teammates, or accept that shit happens. You can't fix matchmaking, but you can check your attitude towards it. This is the game, my friend. Is it ideal? Hell no. Could you play other games that do it better? Absolutely. Go play them. If you want to keep playing this game, you have to factor in all the various pitfalls that come with it, and just make your peace with it all. Let it all go. The noise in your head suddenly seems a lot quieter once you do this. Now, assuming you've taken control of your triggers and have let the external stuff go, how do you focus on the internal ones and make it a productive exercise? Let's go back to my list. I'll take a common one, not liking certain maps. This is a particularly long-form version of tilt because it's not based on a snap decision or any one particular action. It's a set of lived experiences which have been primarily negative up until this point, so that when you're faced with going through it again, your brain immediately goes, ugh, this map, f*** Wormhaven, man. It's the same feeling you get as a child when your mum asks you to do chores, or as an adult when you're asked to be nice to people without reason. So immediately, whilst doing the crucible things, you put yourself in an agitated state that's likely to amplify all other sources of irritation that occur throughout a match. That, in turn, makes you tilted, and leaves you with yet another negative lived experience to add to the already substantial pile. Ask yourself, how much of it is genuinely down to you thinking it's a bad map, over simply not knowing the map fully? I'd argue it's the latter for the vast majority of people if they were being truly honest with themselves. So if you don't know a map, start learning it. Pay attention. Take your own frustration out of the equation by having this goal in mind. If you get angry, you learn less and miss out details. Literally everything could be a discovery if your map knowledge isn't up to par. Not to mention, the process of discovery itself is something that's intrinsically powerful, meaningful, and positive. It feels good to learn stuff. Look, I could spend all day breaking down every trigger and every course of action you can follow, but generally, if you have an internal tilt trigger, it's because you haven't explored options in dealing with it fully yet, either as a means to get around it or to educate yourself on a certain thing so you're less likely to be triggered by it again. You can break it down and you can dissect what's happening without too much effort. Trust your instincts, they're probably right. If you want further guidance, you can always hit me up on Twitter where my DMs are always open, or on our Discord server, The Tribe, where we're dedicated to self-improvement and helping people get better at decoding their weaknesses. I'll leave a link to both below that like button. Stage 4. Acceptance. This journey to become less tilted will not be straightforward. As you progress, there will be setbacks. As you let go of one thing, something new will take its place. Fighting the urge to tilt can be an exhausting battle because what you're doing is changing an important part of yourself. A change that, in my opinion, is for the better. Which is why the last stage, acceptance, is so important. This is going to take time. Allow yourself to change over time, rather than expecting an immediate fix. Nothing that comes easy is worth having. Now, of course, everything I've said here has been about preventing tilt, and try as you might, it's not going to stop you from getting angry in the heat of the moment. Even I have my days where I'm decidedly human in the way I respond to stuff. There's ways to deal with that. Firstly, nobody gets to a point where they're punching their monitors immediately after one bad game or one sequence of events. In the off chance you are an avid Summit 1G cosplayer, please stop this video right now and go seek professional help, because that's not normal. But for the vast majority of us, it's a slow burn and a build up over time. The bullshit adds up to a point where it can't anymore, and then it starts affecting us physically. The key is to catch yourself well before the tipping point is in sight. If you're starting to feel yourself get annoyed, you need to stop and take a second. Frustration builds when you die, and then waiting to respawn can feel like an eternity until you can let loose the inner hound of war again. Pull yourself out of the game, notice the emotion, and let it die down. Simply noticing that you're getting tilted without judgment can often stop it dead in its tracks. Then take a couple of seconds. Take a few deep breaths, relax your mind and body. Now you can get back to it. In between games, physically get up and walk around until you've fully loaded into the next game. Do some stretches or find a breathing exercise that works well for you. Try different things that help you become fully relaxed and mentally refreshed for the next game so that tilt has a harder time of building up. And if you can't quite manage that, quit the game and stop playing for now. Very simple. That said, you can't catch every irritation without an extreme level of self-awareness. Things will happen, moments will slip through, and some Mountain Dew will be spilled. The goal is to be far more calm than annoyed. When you're calm, your mind is open to new ideas, new details, new strategies that you'd otherwise miss when you're tilted. Focus on doing it right. Focus on being honest with yourself. Have your friends hold you accountable. Do this not because you have to, but because you want to. Take pride in the journey because at the end, you'll be proud to be ashamed of the person you used to be. You don't need to strip yourself of passion to become untilted. You just have to save it for the moments that matter. Enjoy yourself, and always remember the reasons you play this game to begin with. Because it's just fun. It's not perfect, and it never will be. And that's okay. Nothing ever is. Let go, keep calm, and carry on. It's easier than you think. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, you know what to do. My name is Ascendant Nomad, and I'm your Crucible Doctor. See you in the next one. Cheers.